All right, welcome back to Thoughts in Stereo. This is episode 16, and today I'm very excited. We're sitting down with a good friend and a close collaborator of mine. He goes by Waves. This is him right here. He's on the other camera. Waves is, well, you describe yourself. How would you describe yourself?
I'm a producer.
What kind of producer?
Very heavily sample-based.
You make a lot of samples?
Yeah.
How did you get into... Like, when you started production, did you always want to be a sample kind of producer? Or was it more of, like, something that you discovered as you were on the way?
I definitely didn't even know about samples. Like, I mean, like, in terms of being a sample producer.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know what that was when I first started making beats. I was just making beats. And then, basically, the reason why I started making samples was I was interning for Frank.
Frank who?
For Frank Dukes.
Frank Dukes?
Yeah.
Fire.
Wow.
So when I was interning for him,
yeah,
my homie Chris, or Cure, he told me you should put together a sample pack
right,
to show Frank.
Okay.
I'm like, what? All right, cool. So I've never made samples until basically July 2018. That's when I first started making samples.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's pretty recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long have you been were you making beats like before?
Before that, like, I started messing around with FL in like 2009.
Oh, so like 10 years.
Yeah, like I started, but like I wasn't really making beats until like 2015.
Wow.
That's when I really like.
That's when you started taking it seriously?
Yeah, and like I'm like, yo, maybe this could actually make me money, you know?
Yeah.
So I started messing around with that. And then, that's where I met everybody.
How did you start interning with Frank?
Yeah.
Honestly, is Chris and Mito, my friend Mito, Illy, like they were already working there. And then it was just one of those where they just brought me.
Those guys you met through music as well? Like you knew them from before?
Well, I knew Illy from like elementary school.
Oh, shit.
But I've known Mito before. Like I met him in a music type environment, not really music. Like, gotcha. I just met him in a parking lot, to be honest.
Oh, sick.
What?
In a McDonald's parking lot.
You guys were like exchanging burgers?
Nah, it's just his boys like, oh, this guy's a rapper, you should meet.
Who?
Mito.
Mito was a rapper?
Yeah.
For people that don't know, Mito's another producer that has worked with Frank Dukes. Obviously, we have collaborated quite a bit, but he's doing his own thing. He makes beats, melodies. He's really talented. Yeah. But I didn't know that he was rapping.
Yeah, I've never heard any of his music, but
to this day,
but apparently he's a rapper, and then we just connected, and then so I've known Mito from there.
I can't see him being a rapper.
Me too, to be honest. I was like,
he's like
what?
such a soft spoken, so soft spoken.
Yeah,
but I can't see. Well, one day I'm gonna badger him for that.
Facts, you have to, bro. So that's how I met Mito, just in a parking lot, and then I met Nahum in an alley. Which is very weird.
Why are you meeting?
Bro, I met Nahum, like, we were, like, volunteering for this, what was it called? Beat Academy.
Beat Academy.
Yeah, so they had, like, this beat battle where it was, like, Canada versus, like, USA or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so basically, first I tried to be a part of it. I never got in. Yeah. So I was like, F it.
No surprises there.
Facts. I was trash.
Just playing.
No, to be honest, I was trash. And then I just like, all right, let me volunteer. Like, I want to still be a part of this, you know?
Sure.
So I volunteered, and then I see Nahum in an alley going to the same place. And then we were just like, okay, this guy's an Ethiopian guy. I'm like, all right, cool. We connect in some sort of way. So I just started talking.
What's the connection to an Ethiopian guy? You're Somali.
It's East African thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, we just like started talking. We became cool. We find out we went to the same university.
Which is?
Ryerson.
Oh, you guys went to Ryerson?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
how long were you at Ryerson for?
I was there for 3 years, and I dropped out.
What program?
Computer science.
Oh, did you guys run in the same program?
Yeah, but I was like a couple of years ahead of him.
Smart
so
guy,
he was like first year, yeah.
Smart guy over here, huh? He's a few years. Okay, so anyway.
So then after that, we just started linking up a lot, like at school, like just trying to make beats in like the library, like in the quiet room and stuff, like, you know, the rooms that you book for, you know?
Yeah, the study room.
Yeah, just started making
just headphones on, good. Yeah.
And then like a year later, we started working at 669, which is a studio opened by my boy Dot, Dot the engineer.
Yeah.
So me and Illy were the first two, and then...
What were you guys doing at 669?
just producing. Like we'd rent, like we'd pay like monthly, like we'd pitch in on the rent.
Sure.
And then we would have like unlimited hours basically.
Jesus.
That's
yeah, it
dope.
was sick. Like basically it's just help, like we were just all just trying to pitch in just to cover the minimum, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
And then that's where like I met everybody else. Like I met Kier, Vinny. That's where I met them.
Nice. You were telling us before that you actually weren't born in Toronto.
No.
Where were you born?
I was born in Italy, in Rome.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Bro, I don't even know how to explain it, bro. Like, well, first, like, if you want to know, like, my background, my parents' nationality is Somali.
Both of them.
Yeah, so like, Italy and Somalia always had, like, a little relation. Like, Italy at one point colonized Somalia, at least the region that we live in, you know?
Is that? Oh, I didn't.
I had no idea. No.
Yeah.
Do some Somalian people speak Italian?
Yeah.
Is it like a thing? Like, is that
Like, it's not, like, I wouldn't say, like, there's a lot of words in our language that are Italian words.
really?
Oh wow, I
Like-
had no idea.
Yeah.
Like if I was to say, like, for example, a broom is scobo, which is a broom in Italian,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Really?
And like, there's a couple other words I just don't remember right now, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's like a heavy Italian influence, even in terms of even what we eat, like pasta,
Really?
you know? Like, yeah.
Damn, I did not know I had that much of a relation. to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, there was like, there's a lot, yeah.
That's interesting. I did not know that. So your parents were in Italy
Yeah.
when
They were like there on vacation, or
No, they moved there.
oh,
So-
sick.
So basically, like in Somalia, like before I was born, there was basically a civil war that was starting.
Yeah.
So my dad, like, he seen it coming before, like, and then he just dipped, and my mom came
That's nice.
to Italy.
That's good.
So right before, like, everything just went, like, you know,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And then they were living there for a couple years, and then I was born
Mm-hmm.
because they were trying to, like, before I was born, they were trying to move to Canada. So like they applied for
Visas or whatever.
yeah, like to be an immigrant, right? And then I was born, and then they had to restart the process again because now it's for 3 people.
Oh
Yeah.
damn.
And then what's it called?
Are you an only child?
No.
So did your parents have more kids when they came to Canada?
Yeah.
So
but-
you're the only one of your siblings born in?
No, I have a sister also born in Italy. She was
Oh.
born in Naples.
Oh.
And then, then
All over the place.
yeah, I know, right?
Wait,
And,
so how long were your parents in Italy?
probably before me, like a couple years, not that long.
Yeah.
So a couple years before you.
Yeah.
And then how many after you were born?
So after me, there was 5 other siblings. So there's 6 siblings. There's 6 kids in my family.
Wow.
Yeah.
But only your sister was born in Italy.
Yeah.
And then they came to Canada.
Yeah, the rest born in Toronto.
Okay, cool. And
Yeah.
so then they had to restart the process.
Yeah.
But then they didn't have to do it again when they had
yeah.
your sister.
yeah, basically, yeah, again it happened. So like, yeah, when we finally got approved to come to Canada, like if you see like my landed immigrant paper, whatever,
Yeah.
when it says nationality, it says like nothing.
Because they just weren't sure.
Because if you're born in Italy, you
Yeah.
just don't get a citizenship, right? It's not like Canada where you get birthright citizenship.
Right.
So over there, you have to be like some sort of Italian, like you have to have like some relative, like grandma, grandpa, or parents, you know, or you have to just be living in Italy for so long.
So when you came to Canada, technically you were a citizen of no country.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
it's
Damn.
weird, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it's funny because I didn't even realize that until like a couple months ago when I seen the paper for the first time. I was like, what? I was
What-
like an alien, bro.
When did you get your Canadian citizenship?
Like probably like 93, 94.
Oh, so
Something
you were
like
still
that.
very young.
Yeah, I was a baby, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, okay. Because some people wait
Yeah.
to get it. But it's good that you didn't have any issues. Like your family
Because
was,
my dad did everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no
just-
issues.
yeah.
Good. So let me just get back to producing now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hold on, can we? Sorry.
yeah, go
Cut
ahead.
you
No,
off.
please.
Can we touch on who Frank Dukes is?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
for the people that don't know.
Yes.
Just so they know who you're working with.
Yeah, so you want to talk about it? No, I want to talk about it? Okay. Frank Dukes is a producer from Toronto. Was he born in... He wasn't born in Toronto. I don't know. He's Torontonian. Whatever. He is... he kind of, I want to say, started the whole wave of putting out melodic sample packs for other producers would you say that he was like one of the pioneers of that?
I would say, yeah.
Yeah, so he used to work a lot with G Unit and like 50 Cent, like all those guys, right? Back out in New York when he was coming up. He used to be a DJ, and then he was producing for them. And I think his story was that he was tired of clearing samples because obviously New York used to be huge sample based, like all their rap songs were, so he said, okay, let me just make my own samples. And he made them sound like they were from another song. Like he was like the one to be like, I'll use vintage stuff. I'll make it sound like it's from the 70s or the 80s. And then, that way I don't have to clear it. And it still sounds like the stuff I'm making. So I think he was the first one to really popularize that, especially after 0 to 100 came out. It was on one of his Kingsway packs. He puts out the Kingsway packs where it's like his melodies. And I think after 0 to 100, I think he signed to Boy Wonder.
I think.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
From memory, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure he did. And then he just got, he blew up, while they're sending out his melodies, and he's also a producer, so he's producing for, Camila Cabello, The Weeknd. I mean, literally, you name it.
Yeah.
Dukes has a placement with artists, even like Jonas Brothers, like everyone.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's ultra successful. But I think it's because really he was the pioneer of that. I'm going to put together samples,
instead
or
of
like
sampling,
so-called samples, which really they're not samples.
Yeah.
They're melodies.
Yeah.
Because you're not sampling. You could sample the melody, sure.
Yeah.
But like a sample is like you take another song, you take a sample of it, and you put it in yours. But anyways, I'm not going to get into nomenclature right now. So he was the first one to make like these sample packs, and then like it really started this whole wave of people doing the same because you can make a melody in your basement, sell it on a website, and all of a sudden you have a production credit on the Drake record. You haven't left your mom's basement. You know what I'm saying? So
because there are some people that are like, they're very musical people. They're great at playing instruments and creating the melodic portion of music, and like they can't do the drums, they can't do the arrangement, or they can't do this, they can't do that. And it's a good spot to like, I don't want to say start. It's not a starting point by any mean, but like, if you're a musician trying to get into the production world,
it's a good way to get your foot in the door.
This is a great way to get your foot in the door. There's a lot of guys, like myself included. I'm a producer, but I don't play instruments. I understand music theory, but I can't sit down on the piano and play anything. I gotta draw shit in. I gotta use samples from people like, hopefully one day use them from Frank Dukes, but like, you know what I mean? Like I gotta get samples sent to me from people to use those in tracks, because I'm just trash.
What I was going to ask you before about your production, you had a Lil Uzi song last year.
Yeah.
So, but was it officially released?
No.
It was like a leak.
It wasn't even a leak.
It was like a snippet.
It was it was featuring Lil Uzi.
Oh, okay.
Like it was his boy,
right,
K Gibbs,
okay,
featuring Lil Uzi.
Okay.
And then he released it, and then like about 2 weeks later it was taken down.
Why?
I have no clue. I've never asked him.
Was it like Uzi got it taken down or some shit?
I believe it's probably some sort of label situation. That was in like the prime of like his.
There's probably no label clearance for it or some shit like that.
Cause that was when he was like heavily beefing with the label.
Yeah.
Like that's right after he said I retired from music, and then this snippet comes out of nowhere, and it went crazy for a bit.
So what was that like? Because that's interesting, because we've never talked about that kind of situation on the show before. So what was that like from your perspective? You've produced this song, you see the snippet, you see, oh my God, Uzi's on the record. Yeah. It's so exciting, this and that. Like, I'm sure you were very excited.
Of course.
Right. And then the song comes out, boom, it's going great, and then it's taken down. Like, how did you feel? Like, what is that like?
Well, to be honest, like, it felt like, I don't know, like, I was just like, yo, honestly, it sucks, obviously.
Of course.
But I was like, if I already did this before, like if I was able to get this placement, I could do it again.
That's a great mindset.
Yeah. So I was really like, yo, honestly, like I have no time to worry about why this happened or whatever. Like, just keep moving, Yeah. Keep doing more, keep working. Clearly, like, I'm making something that people in the industry like, because that was even before I was even or actually was after. But like I sent that beat before I ever met Frank Dukes. Before I ever met, like, you know what I mean?
So it was a few years old at this point.
Yeah, I made that beat like in 2017 or something.
That's
like
always
that.
a sick feeling when like something old of yours gets recognized. You're like, damn, I've come so far since then. Like if that made it, then what I'm doing now can crush.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's like even like I'm hearing certain songs now, right? That me and Illy and Nahum were like messing around with that type of bounce, like 2015, you know?
Yeah.
That's fire.
And we were telling people, yo, this is the next sound, but everyone's like, what the hell is this, you know?
Yeah.
So now to see it happening,
it just affirms
really
what you already.
It's
sick,
so I'm like, oh, I already have like 50 beats like this.
Wow.
Ready to go, so let's go.
That's sick.
That's fire.
That's really sick.
Yeah.
That's fire. And in terms of like placements, like who else have you been working with or worked with?
I have a song with Lil Mosey.
Oh, really?
It's called Rockstars.
Is it out?
Yeah, it's on his last album.
Was that you doing the beat part, or was it like you sent a melody out?
It was a sample from my first Kingsway.
See?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Sick.
So like I didn't even know the song existed like until one day I wake up and I get a text from Josh, and he's the guy who's managing Kingsway and stuff, you know? So Josh texts me like, congrats, you got a placement with Lil Mosey. It's gonna be on his next album. The song is gonna be called Rockstars. I'm like, oh, sick.
Damn.
You know?
That's a great text to wake up to.
Yo, trust me, like, it was like, I was like, yo, I thought I was like, what? I was reading it, like, half asleep still, you know? And then, it was from my first Kingsway.
Now, how do people get access to use the Kingsway samples? I genuinely don't know.
I mean, like, you can buy it from the Kingsway website.
Yeah, you buy the pack, and then what's the process from there? If I use one in one of my beats, I gotta just like, it's kind of whoever gets the placement first type of deal.
It could be used multiple times because it's like essentially like, to me personally, like I don't like to call it a sample pack. Even though it is a sample pack, but I consider it like,
it's a little different than a sample pack because you're getting credit. You know what I mean? You're not just like, people aren't just like buying it and slapping it on.
Like even what I'm trying to say is like, you know how like people would sample like James Brown song or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he released a song, right? Like it's like he released the album. So I want to consider it like that. Like that's how I personally look at it. I'm releasing my own album. It's not really a sample, even though it is sample pack.
Sure. Yeah. You look at it as like a project.
Yeah, project. So
that's
like
cool.
You could sample the same sample 100 times by different people because I already released it publicly.
Because everyone's gonna have their own little take on it anyway.
Yeah.
That happened once with one of Frank Dukes' melodies. And the funny thing is the songs came out on the same day.
Damn.
It was a 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne album, had a song with one of his melodies, and then the Kendrick Lamar Untitled Unmastered #7 had the same sample, and they both dropped on the same day.
Crazy.
And it was like, wild. I remember hearing them, and I was like, wait, I just heard this. Like, I literally just heard this.
Even it happened recently, bro. You know Rich the Kid Splashin'?
Yeah.
That sample, and then there's like a Lil Kim song. Some random Lil Kim song.
What, the dun, dun, dun,
yeah, that one,
thing.
So this is a Lil Kim song that she just dropped on her last project featuring Rich the Kid. And it's the same sample.
No shit.
It's so wild.
What?
Bro.
I gotta
Rich the Kid was like, yeah, sick. I like the way this sounds. Let's do my own song with it. That's hilarious.
Catch My Wave?
Yeah. It's the exact same
I gotta listen to that
sample.
after because I love splashing.
That's so funny. Like, yo, that's jokes. Like, but see, there you go. Yeah, like you can use a sample over and over.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. So that's interesting. And then, of course, that's opened you up to. Has that opened up you up to meeting a lot of people?
Or
like connecting with a lot of people that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Like
the Kingsway packs.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like honestly, I wouldn't have met you.
Facts.
To be honest,
That's
you know,
true.
like I haven't like 90% of the people I've met today is directly because of samples. You know.
Yeah.
From especially from Kingsway.
Yeah.
I've got to work with like. Even the opportunity to send stuff to Cardiac, like Cardiac, follow me on Twitter. I'm like, whoa, like I used to, like this guy's like a legend to me, you know?
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is cool.
I want to ask. There's a couple things on my mind I don't want to forget, but my first thing right now, music is not your full-time job right now.
No.
Where do you work?
I work at the airport for Delta Airlines.
How long have you been working there?
I started 2015.
Okay,
April.
so and you've been telling me like you see a bunch of cool people here and there at the airport. Do you ever like use that as an opportunity to say, hey, look, I make samples. Hey, I make beats. When you see something, because you've seen artists and producers, right?
Yeah.
So like, oh, sorry, Nick. No. So do you see that? Like, when you see them, do you say, hey, my name's Waves, I make beats, all that?
Yeah, most of the time. Like, to be honest, like, I just try to see, like, obviously how they like I just try to, like, it's like situational awareness, you know. I just look, see what's good.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time.
We talk about work-life balance quite a bit, which definitely want you to speak on that.
Yeah.
And like making the best of every opportunity. And like yesterday we spent a lot of time, or last episode, we spent a lot of time.
I gave it away.
Whoops. Last episode we spent a lot of time talking about when is the right time to walk up to someone that you idolize or that you recognize or someone that you really want to work with. Like, what's the right time? How do you read the situation? What's the right thing to say to them? You know, what's too much? What's not enough? You know?
What's your insight on that? Because obviously you see a lot of people passing through the airport.
Like, for me, I'll just like, okay, for example, like when I worked the check-in counters, for example.
Sure.
I've seen Nav a couple times. Right, checking in, like
the first brown boy to get a popping from the city.
Yeah,
no.
So I've seen him, like, facts, he is. So I've seen him a couple times, like, checking in, you know. But it's like I can just tell, like, he's kind of like in a rush or he's trying to get somewhere. He doesn't really, you know. So like I spoke to him once, like quick, like when he's just like checking his bags.
Yeah.
You know how like in Terminal 3, that self-check place.
Yeah.
Seen him there, and I'm just like, yo, you know, like, whatever. Just talk to him real quick, but. Like, I don't really try to push it with people. Like, I've seen Boy Wonder like 3 times probably at the airport.
Really?
But like, I always like would like just be like, hey, what's good? How you doing? Whatever. Like, hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
And then like eventually, like, if I know I'm gonna see you a lot, I'm not gonna like push it the first time.
See,
like, I'll just see you again the next time, and then the next time.
We talked about this literally last episode. We've talked about this many times, but yeah.
So it's just like
it just happens naturally.
Yeah. There's other people I've seen Gunna, but I've never said anything to him because I was like, yo, like, this guy doesn't want to talk to anybody. There's 100 people already like running after him in the airport.
What's the best situation where you've gone up and spoken to someone? Like what's
to be honest, it was Boy Wonder.
Yeah.
Like, this is like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I seen him at the gate. He's flying to like Miami, and then as soon as I walked up to him, like he remembered me. He's like, "Oh, what's good?"
See,
hey, what's up?
we talked about this. You just say hi. You don't got to push it on the very first time you meet someone.
Yeah.
He said hi 2-3 times before, and now what? Tell us what happened. You told me before. Tell everybody what happened with one.
And then he's just like, "Oh, like we're just talking," and then he asked me like eventually like, "What you been up to?" I'm like, "Oh, I've been making samples. I made 2 Kingsways. I'm about to drop my 3rd one. I got a Lil Mosey record, my first placement, like official like release placement, you know." And then he's like, "Oh, that's dope. Like, congrats." And then he's like, "Send me some stuff. I'm going to Miami right now to work on Cardi B's project." I was like, "All right." And then I'm like, "How do you want? Like, how can I send you stuff?" And then he's like, "Take my number."
Fire.
So he gave me his number, and then he texted me his email.
Fire.
And then, I sent him a pack.
See?
Yeah.
It works.
It works. Yeah.
What we're telling you guys is not just like we're, in some great position and we have the ability to walk up to someone and be like, "Oh, hey," and they're just be like, "Yes." Wade, like, Wanda didn't know who Waves was every time he passed through the airport. Waves just made a point of saying hello.
Yeah.
That's all you say. Hey, hope you're well today. Wanda saw him a bunch of times. He said, "I remember this guy. He was the one who said, 'Hey, how's it going?' Respectful. You didn't push anything."
Yeah.
And when the time was right, Wanda said, "Yeah, look, I'm about to go work on one of the biggest artists right now. Send me some melodies."
Yeah.
So that's what we tell.
So
like,
fire.
we've talked about this so many times. Like, because people always say, like, what do you do when you see these guys? Like, what do you do? Like, how do you make the best situation? Because a lot of people would be like, "Man, if you're not, putting the 100, like, yes, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take for sure. We just said that, but like, there's a way to go about it where you're not like running up on someone and being like, 'Oh, Boy Wonder, make melodies,' like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
facts.
You check on my beats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We just said this. So the way you did it, I think, is like the ideal way. Like, you didn't lose your cool, like you didn't like lose your not lose your cool in a mad way, but like you weren't like, "Oh my god," like Wanda.
Like groupie mode. Almost.
Yeah, you didn't get groupie mode. And it happened enough times where he was just like, "All right, let's see what this kid's all about." I always see him. He's always nice to me, whatever. So that's a really, really good example. So, and Nick brought this up earlier. So I'd also like to hear your thoughts on your work-life balance between making beats and being at the airport. Because I'm sure you work long hours at the airport.
Yeah.
How long do you usually work for?
I work usually 7 hours a day.
Yeah, okay.
7 hours.
But your hours, they're not Excuse me, they're not like 9 to 5, are they?
No, it's like right now this bid I'm working at 11:30 to 6:30.
11:30 at night to
No,
6?
11:30 a.m.
Okay.
6:30
Okay,
p.m.
Okay. But you sometimes do the overnight shifts, no?
Yeah, sometimes I'll do doubles. Like it depends. Like if I'm trying to travel, for example,
Yeah.
I'll work. Like I'll pick up a lot of shifts because then I can get those same people to work for me later.
Yeah.
So I'll get them like I'll work like let's say a month. I'll have like for example just now like in December I only had 2 days off the whole month. I
Damn.
just grinded it out. Like I was doing 13 days straight, day off, 13 days
You're gearing up
straight.
to do a trip somewhere, like
Yeah,
take
so
some time off.
How many
Yeah.
hours per day were you doing? The 7, or would you do doubles?
I would do 7, sometimes doubles. Like sometimes I'll start at like 3 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., 5 a.m. Like some crazy hours, you know. But it's just like
You know it's worth it.
I know, yeah, because I know I'm gonna get like a month off or like whatever.
See, and that's an important
Yeah.
part. Like, yeah, there's definitely an importance to grinding and making your music and making beats. And there's also an importance to when you have a job like that,
Yeah.
grinding in that sense, because
Yeah.
you know it'll pay off for you to have more, like a better ability to travel or to make more
Yeah.
beats in the future.
Yeah,
A lot of people's arguments when they have a job and they're also trying to be in music or they're already in music or whatever the situation is they say like, you know, I go to work and I come home and I'm just so tired. I don't feel like working on beats.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is a good way, as an example, you know, grind at work, earn that time off, take that week and lock yourself in the studio.
exactly.
You know?
Honestly,
Get
like,
that done.
How do you stay motivated when you finish a shift and you come home to work?
bro, honestly, like, for me, it's just. I feel like I'm not gonna lie though. I feel like I'm kind of like a robot now. Like it's like almost like I'm in a loop. Like I just like was making samples every day to the point where now if I just stop working on music, even for one day, I just feel like, what the hell am I doing? Like I don't even know what to do. Like I don't know who to.
It's okay. I always hit these things.
Yeah, I don't even know who to link up with. I don't know who to call. Like
Right.
it's just like I
So
just
you're in
feel
that
weird.
super grind mode right now.
Yeah, just like keep working and just flood. Like for me, 2020, for me, like the plan was from before, like to just black out and like drop as much packs and do whatever. So like I had to prepare for it some way. So I'd go to work, come straight home, and work on music. Like find a place. Sometimes I just work in my car. Like to be honest, I'll plug my laptop straight into my car. Like I have the outlet in my car. I just plug it in.
That's
park up.
sometimes fire. I've done that before because you know your car so well.
Yeah, it's like, yo, the car is gonna pass the car test,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be fire, right? So I just
Fair
make
enough.
and I'm not gonna lie, like ever since HOB closed down, which was like I think like May.
Yeah.
I've been doing. I think I made like 100 samples in my car.
Holy shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like it's just work wherever I can, whenever I can, and then wake up for work the next day. So I'll sleep at like 5 a.m. and then wake up 11 o'clock, get to work 11:30. Yeah,
It's a grind.
it's a grind, but
It's a
it's
grind.
gonna pay off, you know.
Yeah.
That's how I
Definitely
see
will.
it.
It
Yeah,
definitely will.
That's good. That's so impressive. That's really important, and it's like that's what we were saying. It's definitely going to pay off. Like when you're almost there, and when you get that one, how do you stay? Like how do you keep the streak going? As you lock in, and you work like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So should you take some time off to see family, or no? Or
I mean, yeah.
are you like literally robotic all the time?
Pretty much robotic. Like I
Really?
mean, I live with my family, so I see them every day. So, other than that, like. Yeah, it's robotic. My only friends are
Producers.
the same. Yeah, and I mean, I do have other friends, and I do make time for them once in a while.
Yeah.
Or I'll call them or something. Like I have some sort of contact, you know.
Yeah.
But they know why I'm MIA. Like they see what's going on.
You're just super grinding.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, I already got I got this opportunity. I'm not gonna fumble the bag, you know.
Facts.
I gotta go as hard as I can.
Facts. You were doing a program at Ryerson recently called Night School
Yeah.
with Blank and Gray.
Yeah.
Was that just one night? It was like a seminar, right?
Yeah. No, it was a 3 day. It was like 3 courses.
Okay.
So like all 3 of us had 1 class each.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So,
what was that? So what were you doing there? You're showing.
I was teaching them about samples, like the whole process of like even recording sounds out of like synths. So like record like and then turn them into an instrument. So like I'll record like the whole synth, like we'll create a sound
Uh-huh.
and then like basically record the whole keyboard. like every note. And
they
then
turn them to like one shots almost.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And then take that and turn it into an
instrument,
like an instrument like that you can just use.
Oh,
like a sampler instrument or something like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
You're still in FL, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
do they have some sort of sampler, or like, not? I know they have a sampler, but in Ableton, for example, like what you're talking about, when you do one note of everything on the keyboard, you can toss them all into one sampler and it creates the keyboard. They have that in FL?
Yeah, it's called Direct Wave.
Sick.
Yeah,
I gotta get FL, man. I gotta just test it out.
Dope.
I gotta mess around with it a little bit.
Yo, especially like the new FL, man.
It's incredible.
I fucked with it maybe once, like when I was starting producing, and instantly I was like, nah, it's not for me.
For real.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That was me with Reason.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, what the hell is this weird shit? And delete
like Microsoft
ASAP.
Excel.
Yo, I deleted it so fast.
Yeah. It's too confusing, especially when you're starting producing and you go into Reason. You're like, what are all these wires that are in the program? I thought it was in a program.
It's like I'm like, yo, to this day I have trouble with like patch bass, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm like, yo, even when I see like certain VSTs with like patch bass type thing,
it's confusing.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is need to make it user friendly, bro. This is dumb.
At that point, I'm just like, okay, I'm just download a preset bank and just do that instead.
I've never used Reason, so I don't know what the goddamn hell you guys are talking about.
Don't.
But Waves, I just want to talk to you about like one more thing. I want to shed some light for our viewers. What do you feel is important if you're making loops? I'm sure a lot of our listeners or viewers make loops, make melodies. What do you think is important in a loop or like in a melody? In terms of like for when you send it out, like what would you like to hear? Like what do you consider to be a good loop?
I would say keep it very like minimal stuff. Like don't overproduce it the same way as a beat, you know? I always like to put like a very catchy part of my loop in the beginning. Because honestly, like from my experience and just walking into sessions with other producers that use samples, they listen to it for like 3-4 seconds, and if it's not like, if
it doesn't hit right away, it's
they're
next.
like boom, next one, you know. They're not even gonna wait till the cool part you have in the middle, like 2 minutes in, you know,
because no listener is gonna wait for that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
No one really has the time. It's not like we're back in the day when people are chopping samples and listening you know, now it's like efficiency. So I feel like even if you can make your loop sound as if like it's already a beat, like if you could already like kind of like
if you can hear the beat in your head, that's
it's ready to go. So like when I'm making samples, I use drum loops. So I'll have like a drum pattern that either I'll make or I just have from other people that sent it to me, like Nahum, and I make samples on the drums.
And then you shut the drums off and send the sample?
And I just send the sample. And then 90% of the time when I get a beat back, it's the same drums. Literally.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Because you already hear that bounce from everything else you did in the record.
Exactly.
Fire.
So it's like I already create the bounce. I already create the pockets.
Yeah.
And and then I just send it out. And then most of the time, it's the same bounce that I get back.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
So like in terms of like sound design, what do you think people should like be doing? Like you say you create a sound on a VST or on a hardware synth, and then they'll track it all out. But you know, not everyone has that.
Yeah.
So like, what are some tips for like people that are doing it on VSTs and stuff?
I still use VSTs, to be honest.
Yeah.
And for me, my thing is I like to turn off all the effects like that are in the VST, all the reverb and delay and stuff, because a lot of those things like you can't like. I don't want to really control it by automating it through there.
Sure.
I'll use my own delays and effects, right?
Sure.
So I just try to keep the sound very dry and like in your face, and like so that when I'm messing around with it, I can hear exactly how the sound moves.
Right.
Some of the like pads and plucks and stuff with all those weird effects, like you can't really tell how it's really moving because it's like all these weird effects.
Yeah, sure.
Too much going on.
Yeah. So like just keep it dry and then I don't know, like whatever effects you want to use, just use it in your channel. Don't use the one. Yeah, don't use like the.
That's actually a really good and simple way of making presets your own. Because people often think of presets like, everyone else has this, I can't use this preset. But like, just shutting off the effects and putting your own, even if you do the same like delay length or reverb length or same type of reverb or whatever, even just you using a different reverb creates a different feeling, which makes it your own.
You're right.
That's a good tip. I'm gonna use that.
Even like, yeah, bro. Even I like to use a lot of like, what's it called, In Waves plugin.
Yeah.
The guitar tool rack.
Tool rack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never heard of that.
It's pretty sick. It's almost like Guitar Rig. Similar, you know?
Is it called guitar tool rack?
Yeah, GTR tool rack.
Okay.
Right. And it's basically just like a amp. It runs it through an amp, and then it runs it through like what's it called? What's those things? The pedals?
Yeah.
Pedals?
Various pedals.
Yeah. And then you just whatever, I usually just go through the presets and just edit it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it just creates like everything just sounds more like full. A lot of VSTs that I use don't really sound, they don't have like a warmth to it. But like with that, it creates like some sort of warmth and like cool, like, you know? And then J37.
What's J37?
It's another Waves plugin.
Yeah.
Is that a new secret
it's a
sauce?
tape machine. It's like a tape machine
fun.
emulator.
Is that like everyone started using RC20?
It's like
and now,
RC20
and now everyone's
in a
gonna start
sense,
using
yeah.
this.
I don't have RC20.
Oh,
For
you
real?
gotta get that,
It's
man.
sick.
I used to
Come
have it,
on.
but I don't have it anymore. I'll probably get it
It's
today.
too good.
I'll probably go purchase it off of Plugin Boutique.
Yeah.
They always have good sales.
Yeah.
It's a good, actually, little website. Our listeners out there, Plugin
What
Boutique.
are you working on now? What's like the next couple months looking like?
I've been working on like, my next Kingsway.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much done.
I think by the time this airs, it might be out.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I had it done for months. I've
Right.
just been
Yeah,
chilling. What else? I've been sending a lot of samples out to just producers, like for opportunities and stuff like that. Like, I'm not really sure what's gonna happen, but just basically just sending out work, releasing more samples. I might drop a sample pack with Coupe de Truth,
Nice.
so that's gonna be sick.
Yeah, I have a few
Yeah.
with yours and his collab
Yeah.
samples.
I know he sent it to me. It's pretty fire.
Yeah. Just pretty fire.
No,
Not very fire.
It's very, it's very fire. This guy.
I'm just fucking with you.
But yeah, we're gonna drop a pack. What else? I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Just grinding.
Just basically, yeah, release as much work as possible.
Yeah.
That's my goal for this year.
Fire.
Just drop. I'm gonna try to drop like 100 samples. Give out free samples. Do whatever, like anything.
Fire.
Yeah.
That's good. Nick, any more questions for Mr. Waves?
Where can people? I mean, now everyone knows the Kingsway stuff and where
Yeah.
to find that. Where can they find the rest of your samples? Like when you drop this new pack.
Well,
Probably on Drum Broker.
maybe. I'm not sure though.
Yeah.
I might.
Well,
like-
where can they
does-
keep up with you on IG?
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, you can follow me at waves.flp.
So WAVES.FLP.
FLP, yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah,
That's jokes.
yeah.
That's jokes.
I'm starting to wave, man. The dot whatever.
You think that
FLP.
you think that you're the first person to do that?
I've never seen anybody before me.
I haven't.
You're not on
seen that
Instagram
yet.
enough.
Damn, then I guess I'm not.
No, but I don't see anyone else doing FLP. I see everyone doing .wave.
Oh no,
Oh,
not dot
no.
wave.
Yeah.
That's like, see, that's different.
That's what I'm saying.
It'd be funny if you did
Yeah.
waves.mp3.
Dot mp.
Waves.
WAV dot mp3.
Yeah.
Be like people be so confused. But yeah, so they can keep up with you on Instagram,
Yeah,
and then you'll be posting all your releases there.
yeah,
And
exactly.
they'll also be able to find your other releases on there as well.
Yes, you find everything on my IG.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
This has been Thoughts in Stereo. Thanks for tuning in.
thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. Thank you again, Waves,
Thank
for
you.
joining.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, don't forget to follow him up and follow us if you're not already following us, because
Send us some questions, things you guys want to hear, things you guys want to hear us talk about,
yeah,
things we haven't covered that you would like to hear covered.
yeah,
Send it all in. We'll get it all done.
yeah. Thanks for listening as always, and have a great day
Thank
or
you.
night.
Yes.